And welcome back to Clean Eating Kitchen, where I share easy gluten-free and dairy-free recipes. And today we're focusing on high-protein dinner recipes, and these are actually 4 recipes that I made in my kitchen last week. So let's kick it off with an Instant Pot chicken soup recipe, and this was inspired by my husband, who is feeling a little bit under the weather. We've been having some actually crazy high warm temperatures here in California, where it is so ironic that most of the rest of the country is experiencing really severe winter weather. So apologies, I shared some beach photos or beach video at the end of this video, and just so if you're needing some beach time, make sure you stay tuned for that. But I'm sharing how I make this easy Instant Pot chicken soup. It's also full of veggies, so it's very nourishing. So I started out by sauteing or heating up just a little bit of olive oil using the saute button. And if you are new to using the Instant Pot, you might want to check out my video that I did last week, which is how to use the Instant Pot Duo, which is my favorite model of Instant Pot. I use a 6-quart. I also have a 3-quart, but 6-quart is the most common. I will put a link in the description, and I'll also link to all these recipes. They're all on my website, but I'll put them in the description to make them easy to find. So here I'm just showing you how I heated up the oil. I added the chicken. Now I'm adding just a variety of spices to add more flavor, dried herbs, a little bit of dried garlic, a little bit of salt. And one benefit of sauteing the chicken, you don't have to do that, but it makes everything kind of like, it gets the Instant Pot heated up, and so then when you put on the lid, it actually takes less time for the pot to come up to pressure. That might not make much sense to you if you're not really used to using the Instant Pot, but I know my Instant Pot aficionados will appreciate that. So here I'm just showing how the chicken, I'm trying to just brown it a little bit. So I really only did that for 3 or 4 minutes. I turned off the saute function. Now I'm adding all of my chopped vegetables. I didn't have any carrots, so I used a orange bell pepper instead. I had some celery, some onion, and again, I added those dried herbs for flavoring, and now I'm just adding some chicken broth. I ended up adding, I want to say, about 4 cups, and I used about 1.5 pounds of chopped up chicken thighs. And I like to chop up the chicken because then you don't have to cook it on high pressure for as long. And this is everything ready to go, and just putting the lid on, getting ready to set the time to high pressure. I believe I did 8 minutes, and then I did about a 5-minute quick release. And the chicken will probably be done in about a shorter time, like 4 to 5 minutes. I just did it a little bit longer just to be sure. I kind of have a thing about chicken. I'd rather it be just a little bit overcooked than undercooked. And then, if you watch my last video, I always recommend using oven mitts when releasing the pressure. You can see it does come out at quite a velocity, and you just don't want to get burned. And I always turn it away from my painted cabinets, and so that hot steam doesn't ruin the finish on my cabinetry. And this soup ended up making quite a bit, so I always like making extra when I cook, and that's one of my tips, and how I just have food available at all times is I make big batches. So I'm a household of 2, and so I'm always making like probably about 6 to 8 servings when I cook. And so I know that makes it a little tougher if you have kids at home, especially teenagers. My sister has some teenagers at home right now, and boy, they eat a lot. But that's another great reason to meal prep and make things in bigger batches, and so you don't have to cook as often. And I love serving chicken soup with a squeeze of fresh lemon. It just adds brightness of flavor, and of course that adds vitamin C, so it's that much healthier. And I definitely got a thumbs up from my husband there, and you can see this is how much was extra. So one of the batches I put in the freezer, and then one I just popped in the fridge. Okay, so this is the next day, and what I'm doing is I'm using some chopped up pre-cooked sirloin, and that's the sirloin, that grass-fed sirloin that I get at Costco. Maybe you've seen it, it's already pre-cooked, so it just makes it so easy And I just used some vegetables, chopped them up, whatever I had. And actually, those tomatoes were from my garden, believe it or not. I'm still getting tomatoes. And then I just sauteed the veggies for a few minutes with a little bit of olive oil, and then added the sirloin. It just needs to heat up essentially, so just a few minutes. I added some fresh chopped dill also, and that gave it a ton of flavor. And then I served this with a baked potato that I cooked in the Instant Pot. And so this is another great example of just a really easy meal, this time using the stove top and the Instant Pot. And I love to make baked potatoes in the Instant Pot. It's just so easy. I usually cook them like a baked potato, big russet potato. I'll cook for a good 34 minutes on high pressure and let the pressure come down naturally, and it yields a perfectly tender cooked not sweet potato, regular white baked potato. Now from the third meal, I'm going to show you how I made lamb chops. And this is lamb that I got at Costco. You may have seen in my Costco shopping haul. I ended up cooking them in the air fryer. I just marinated them in a homemade marinade of parsley and garlic, and then I cooked them at 400 degrees for about 6 minutes per side. And they were delicious. That was the first time I'd ever cooked lamb, and it was kind of a lot of prep because you have to cut up the lamb chops and everything, but I thought it was really tender and quite tasty. And now I'm showing you how I make a Crockpot Bison chili, and I'm showing you here my drawer with 3 Crockpots, and I chose the middle-sized one for this one. I was just using one of the packages of ground bison that I got at Costco. So I do get a lot of food ingredients from Costco. These beans I got not from Costco. They're jarred beans, not canned, but I do like the jarred. They come in glass jars, and the brand is called Jovial. So I just rinsed them. I added some chopped up vegetables to the crock pot with the rinsed beans. I'm showing you this Siete Foods taco seasoning that I like. It has really clean ingredients. And just added about a third of a packet, whatever I had left over. And then I added some of these chopped up green chilies. They just add more flavor. And then some bone broth for liquid. And then what I did was let that cook for about 4 to 6 hours on, I can't remember if I did low or high, but I think I did high because I was running out of time. Oh, and I added some tomato paste. And then what I did was when it got close to dinner time, I just cooked the bison in a separate pan and poured it into the pot with the cooked, the crock pot vegetables and everything that was already heated up. And I think I served that with a side of rice, but this ended up making a lot. And the bison, the packages at Costco, I think are 20 ounces each. So that's about 1.5 pounds of meat if you want to replicate this recipe at home. But again, I'm showing 4 different cooking techniques, just depending, I'll choose the technique that matches how much time I have in the kitchen, I guess how much energy I have. Usually by the end of the day, it's, I don't have as much energy as I do earlier in the day. And so I like to have stuff ready, especially if it's cooking in the crock pot or just something that's already kind of prepped, and then all I have to do is cook it off. Because I do have autoimmune disease, and I don't know, I'm just busy during the day, so I do feel like I run out of energy by the time the evening rolls around. So here I'm just showing you how I'm cooking the meat separately, and that made the dinner prep just so much easier. And so I just want to mention the reason that I focus on protein so much. It wasn't always like the center of my meal planning, but as I've gotten older, my husband's gotten older, I've learned more about how important having adequate protein is, and high quality protein. So that's always kind of like the focus of my dinner is going to be what kind of protein am I going to serve, and then what kind of vegetable can go with it, and then what kind of complex carb, so usually rice or potato, and then we'll try to have something like fruit for dessert. That's kind of how I plan my meals. And here I'm just showing a few more scenes from around the beautiful area where I live. Again, I know it's very wintry and cold in many parts of the country, but here it is beautiful. And this is one of the reasons why I live in California. I'm not a native Californian, but the winter times happen to be some of the most beautiful times of year, especially where I live, which is near the coast. Ironically, in the summertime, it's often cold and foggy, and this was from actually February 1st. Beautiful, gorgeous day, 71 degrees, and just perfect. So be sure to follow and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.